A major report just released by Master Grocers Australia says the supermarket giants Coles and Woolworths are deliberately killing competition. The Master Grocers, who represent smaller operators, say Coles and Woolies are saturating the market and opening oversized supermarkets to lock out competitors. They say the evidence is now in, and the federal government and competition watchdog, the ACCC, have to act to change planning and competition laws. Matthew Carney reports.
In Australia, for every $10 spent on groceries, about $8 goes to Coles and Woolies. It's one of the most concentrated markets in the world. In Toowoomba in Queensland, it's even more so. Locals say the town is drowning in a deluge of Coles and Woolies supermarkets, pubs, hardware and liquor stores, petrol stations and discount outlets.
Woolworths and Coles at this point own 5 supermarkets each. Toowoomba's about 100,000 people. There are approved plans to build another 1 Coles and another 1 Woolworths. So within 2 years there'll be 6 of each.
Debbie Smith is a rare breed. She runs one of the few independent supermarkets left in town and says it's not just the number of supermarkets that Coles and Woolies have opened, but the size of them that's killed the smaller operators.
There's a plan's been approved to put a 3,500 square metre Coles 800 metres away from this store. We had 220 customers send letters of objection to the council during that appeals process, but to no avail. Do we need another one? No, we don't. Are we going to get another one? Yes, we are.
Master Grocers Australia, who represent the smaller players like Foodworks and IGA, says this scenario is being repeated across Australia.
This behaviour by the chains is really putting at risk the loss of retail diversity, choice for consumers and really true competition.
In their report, Master Grocers say opening oversized and unprofitable supermarkets is a deliberate strategy from Coles and Woolworths to wipe out competition.
They are able to sustain oversized supermarkets running at losses by cross-subsidising, and what we mean by that is they have a range of other businesses from which they can draw their profits, and they can cross-subsidise these loss-making stores for as long as they care to.
Part of this strategy, Master Grocers says, is for the supermarket giants to target marginal areas. The picturesque town of Bright sits in the foothills of Victoria's snow country. Its 2,000 residents are proud of the community they've built. But many say since Woolworths came to town 2 years ago, local producers and retailers have been devastated. 23 local businesses have been put up for sale or lease, and those still operating are suffering.
I think some notable examples would be the pharmacy that's non-prescription sales are down by 30%. The news agency is also showing 25% decrease in sales. The local dairy is down 30 to 40%. He has no opportunity to supply Woolworths other than a small amount of locally produced milk. The rest of it is sourced centrally via Woolworths.
Nick Cook is the local manager at Bright's Super IGA supermarket. They've lost half of their sales and had to lay off half of their staff. He believes the main problem is that Woolies was allowed to open a much larger than needed supermarket.
When the permit was approved, as I said, there was already 2 supermarkets in the town which were more than adequately servicing the demand that existed. The new supermarket of 2,500 square metres, the new Woolworths, would have equated to about 50% excess capacity. Unfortunately, the smaller independent supermarket decided to close the doors, and we're now probably still at an excess of 40% capacity.
The Master Grocers report is calling for the federal government and the competition watchdog, the ACCC, to overhaul competition and planning laws.
What we have seen are oversized supermarket developments in a number of country and regional townships where really some of the codes or the regulations haven't been adhered to, the planning principles haven't been adopted, and it has caused great angst in those townships where those oversized supermarkets have been allowed to develop.
The federal opposition believes there's merit in the report and says it sharpens the case for a review of competition law.
It identifies some clear pressure points, some impacts on innovation in our economy, how if we don't have proper competitive laws and a pro-competitive environment, innovation suffers. That is not good for consumers, that's not good for choice, and that's not good for the Australian economy in the longer term.
The opposition wants to arm the ACCC with more tools to stop any market power abuse. The competition watchdog says it will look at the claims of oversized supermarkets on a case-by-case basis.
If you open a new store in a market, that by definition will bring more capacity to the market than the market needs, because the market was already fully saturated. The fact that a new store will lose money in its early days, again, that's normal commercial behaviour. So to meet the tests of being against our Act and being anti-competitive, it has to be behaviour that is deliberately meant to damage competition.
A representative for Coles and Woolworths rejects the Master Grocers report and all its findings.
Look, I think this is a report long on accusation and very short on facts. This is a report generated by an organisation that is effectively another supermarket chain, and that's IGA.
The National Retailers Association says Coles and Woolies only open supermarkets on consumer need, not to knock out the competition.
Look, I think this is a bizarre accusation that any business would in fact set up to lose money. These are big public companies, they've got shareholders to account to. There's no way they're opening stores to lose money.
The supermarket giants say they continue to invest significantly in Australia and employ hundreds of thousands of Australians. Matthew Carney, Late Line.